说中文。
Chinese pot, Chinese pot, Chinese pot. That's the way to learn Chinese. Chinese pot, Chinese pot, Chinese pot. That's the way to learn Chinese.
Hello, newbies. This is Chinese Pod. We have another lesson in spoken Mandarin, and we're coming from Shanghai, China, and I'm Ken.
Hi, I'm Jenny.
Now, we are with a fairly basic class. It's a newbie lesson here, but it is, well, I think it's relatively challenging. But it's got some good stuff in it. Now, why don't you tell us a little bit about what's happening here, Jenny, please?
Oh, we're talking about our family.
Yes.
And describing how many people there are in our family.
Okay. And where might this be happening?
Well, I see it taking place in a Chinese class.
Okay, so
CSL class.
A CSL class, so somebody learning Chinese. And I think the girl in the dialogue is, she sounds slightly prissy and sort of very sure of herself in her newfound tones. If she is a newbie at Chinese, but it's kind of interesting. It's kind of fun the way she enunciates very clearly.
Why don't we give it a lesson?
Indeed.
Dialogue first time.
你家有几口人
8口人。
？8口人。
是啊，爸爸妈妈哥哥姐姐。
Second time.
你家有几口人
8口人。
？8口人。
是啊，爸爸妈妈哥哥姐姐。
Third time.
你家有几口人
8口人。
？8口人。
是啊，爸爸妈妈哥哥姐姐。
All right, so piece by piece, step by step, let's translate it.
你家有几口人？
How many people are there in your family?
你家有几口人？
How many people are there in your family?
你家有几口人？8口人。
8 people.
8口人。
8 people.
8口人。8口人。
8 people?
8口人。
8 people?
8口人。是啊，爸爸妈妈哥哥姐姐。
Yes. Dad, mom, older brother, older sister.
是啊，爸爸妈妈哥哥姐姐。
Yeah. Dad, mom, older brother, and older sister.
是啊，爸爸妈妈哥哥姐姐。
Now, our listeners, as ever, I'm sure, are very alert, and they will have picked up on the fact that we said 8 people, but we only named 4. Now, there's a reason for this.
Yes.
Because we just don't want to burden you with too much vocabulary.
Exactly.
I think there's enough vocabulary in this for one lesson. It kind of fades at the end. She could go through the rest. But I think in a newbie lesson, these items, there's enough in it without overburdening
That's
the
very
listener.
sensible.
Ah, good. Now, so let's get back to the top. Kind of slightly awkward construction to my mind, if you ask me. But this is the proper way it works. But anyway, let's look at the first sentence.
你家有几口人？你家有几口人？
Now, that's how you ask somebody how many people are there in
Yes.
your family. Let's take it word for word. Now, the first item is your family.
你家，你家，
你家, and that means your people in your family. Your family, essentially, as
Yeah.
in people. All right.
yeah, and 家 means family.
Family. So your family. Now, the verb to have is,
有，有
the word for person is,
人，人
in Chinese, however, you need a measure word for things like people. In this case, it's
口，口 third tone.
yes. And so when you ask the question, how many people, you say,
几口人？ 几口人
几口人
Yes.
Now, 几口人, could that be used to describe groups of people outside the family?
Oh, no. It's used to describe people in your household.
Only in
family.
the family.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. So if I say to 几口人, it's implied that I mean in your family.
Exactly.
Okay. So literally, I'll word for word, I'll translate it and then you give us the Chinese. So it's your family has how many people?
你家有几口人？你家有几口人？
Now, that's interesting, I think, because it shows how the syntax of Chinese works.
Yes.
Because your family has how many people? Good.
And that's in general how a lot of questions are formed in Chinese.
Exactly. Now, and in response, the answer was
八口人，八口人。
八口人,
Yes.
meaning 8 people. Yeah. Now, while we're on this point, we have this measure word again for people, and it is
口
口.
口
And in this case, it was 八口人.
Yes.
Now, tell us a little bit about this measure word. What does it literally mean?
It's very interesting because 口 means mouth.
It means mouth.
Yeah. So the analogy is there are certain mouth that need to be fed in my family. And that's why we restrict this measure word for talking about family members.
That's a really interesting way to remember. It may even be the origin. I don't know, but it is. It's good. And the character for ko is interesting too because it's basically a square.
Yeah.
It's just a representation of the mouth.
Exactly.
So these are easy ways to remember. So anyway, so 8 people in the sense of in my family, you say.
八口人. And incidentally,
Yep.
these 3 Chinese characters
Yeah.
probably are the
Simplest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I highly encourage you to take a look
Yeah,
at them.
they're nice. 八口人. You can see them, have a look at them. They are simple and easy to remember, I believe. Good. Now, she starts to name
Yeah.
those people.
是啊，爸爸妈妈哥哥姐姐。
Now, first of all, she says, yes.
是啊，是啊。
Now, she could just say sure, but this is just slightly more natural, I guess.
Yeah, and it makes you sound happier,
Yeah,
in a high
yeah,
spirit.
Yeah, more positive. Yeah. Sure, I mean, yeah, for sure, of course, yeah. Now, dad, of course, is.
爸爸，爸爸。
Now, the key thing here about baba, of course, is that it's 4th tone.
Yeah, fourth and neutral.
The second bit is neutral. That's
Yeah.
right. So let's hear it again.
爸爸，
Baba.
爸爸。
Now, I guess 4th tone, heavier tone. Maybe dad's heavier than mom. Maybe that's one way to remember.
Yeah.
Because mom is,
妈妈
which is 1st tone
Yes.
there.
妈妈
So could you contrast the two, please?
Sure. 爸爸，妈妈。
Why do you sound very young when you say that? I'm just kidding.
I do think so. I mean, we're all kids, no matter how old we are in
That's
front
right.
of our parents,
That's right.
right?
But when you just sit there going, Baba, Mama, you sound like really young. Okay, anyway. Now, you had older brother.
哥哥，哥哥。
Guga. Now, Guga, for some reason, I don't know that first
No
tone.
mnemonic.
I can't think of one. Maybe the Guga first tone. Maybe it's he could be the firstborn.
Firstborn.
He could be.
Yeah.
All right. Guga, and then the big sister is
姐姐，姐姐。
Jie, which is an older sister.
Yes.
So, yeah, now enough. We don't want to go into too many family words because it gets complicated in Chinese. That's
Oh,
enough for
yeah.
one lesson. All right. Let's listen to this again.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Chinese Pod Trivia. Our first question is, how long will it take you to become an intermediate Chinese speaker using the Chinese Pod app? Is it A, the rest of your life? B, you should already be an intermediate speaker? C, 3 months? Or D, Chinese Pod has an app?
You should already be in.
Ooh, that is incorrect. The correct answer is C, 3 months. That's right. Head over to ChinesePod.com now to register for your access to over 4,000 lessons. Get the Chinese Pod app now on Google Play or the App Store.
Dialogue first time.
你家有几口人？
8 口人。
8口人。
是啊，爸爸妈妈哥哥姐姐。
Second time.
你家有几口人
8口人。
？8口人。
是啊，爸爸妈妈哥哥姐姐。
Third time.
你家有几口人
8口人。
？8口人。
是啊，爸爸妈妈哥哥姐姐。
Okay.
Now, talking about how many people there are in one family.
Yes.
I have to say now in China, it's extremely rare to encounter a family of 8.
That's why her surprise. In fact, it's almost inevitable these days that it's going to be 几口人呢？
3口人。
三口人. That's the answer you're going to hear most for sure.
是啊，爸爸妈妈和我。
对, yeah, so you got 三口人 meaning 3 people.
Yes.
There you go. Hope that was useful. We will, of course, be back with lots more where that came from tomorrow. But right now, we have to say
再见。
再见。
And don't forget to go to ChinesePod.com.
indeed.
As usual, ChinesePod provides an extensive selection of learning materials for this lesson on its website, www.chinesepod.com. You can access this lesson directly with the lesson number
1221.
So just go to www.chinesepod.com/1221
1221.
and you will find a transcript, vocabulary, and much more. The link again, www.chinesepod.com/1221.
1221.